Hi first graders, welcome to reading for the day. I am in my blue reading book that has the 1.2 on the front, and we're back on this picture that we looked at yesterday. I'm on page 46. Down here at the bottom it says 4-6, okay, and I see a picture of 2 classrooms. Today I want to point out a few things that I see in these pictures to you, okay. The first thing that I want to point out to you is this outside. This thing outside is called a fence. Can you say fence? Okay. If I segment and blend this word, it sounds like this. Fence. Fence. And at the end of the word, I hear the s sound. Okay, the other thing I want to show you is this girl here at the bottom. She walks with a brace. If I segment and blend the word brace, it sounds like this. B-r-a-c-e. Brace. And again, I hear that s sound at the end of the word. Those both have this ending sound s. And we're going to learn a new way to make that word when we're reading and writing. That s sound is not actually an s. In those 2 words, that s sound is made by a c. I'll show you some examples in a minute. I want to show you some other things. I see a couple of class pets here and here. They both are in a cage. If I segment and blend the word cage, you hear k-a-g, cage, and I hear the j sound at the end of that word. Another thing that I see is this guy right here. What animal is this? This is a giraffe. If I segment and blend giraffe, I hear giraffe, giraffe. And at the beginning, I hear that j sound. And then the last thing I see is these girls down here, they're playing with some change, it looks like. Ch-a-n-j, change. And I hear that j sound at the end. Now, that j sound we learn in kindergarten usually is a j. Not today. Today it is a g. Let me show you a couple examples. Remember how I told you that s sound wasn't an s? Let's use this word. My word has a long A. It has an E telling the A, say your own name. Now, because this has a long vowel, this C no longer sounds like k. This C now sounds like s, like an S. We call it a soft C. Can you say that? Soft C. Okay. My soft C says s. Okay, let's segment and blend this word. So when we get to the C, we're going to make the sound for S. Here we go. Ace. Face is my word. Good job. And now let me show you one that has that j sound that we usually have as a J. Well, my word here, again, a long vowel. My A says its own name because of this bossy E. And because my A says its own name, my G does not say G. My G says J. Can you say that sound? J. So when we get to the G, we're going to say the sound for J. J. That's kind of confusing, but it's okay. You'll get used to it. Okay, here we go. Page. Page is my word. Very good. We call this a soft G. Hard G says G. Soft G says J. Okay. Hard C says K, like we learn in kindergarten. But soft C says S. Very good. Okay. I'm going to pick my reading book back up now. And I want you to join me in your book. I'm going to turn 2 pages. So I'm on page 50 now. And I see yellow words. You see a picture of some cereal. Okay? The C in cereal is soft. Then we already talked about this guy, giraffe. The G in giraffe is soft. It says J. Okay? So, we're going to practice some of these. Now, most of them have a long vowel sound. Okay? When the soft C or G comes at the end, there's a long vowel. If they're at the beginning of the word, though, it doesn't always have to be a long vowel. Okay? Get your reading finger ready. Okay? Remember, bossy E at the end means that A says its own name. It's going to say what sound? A, just like we worked on yesterday. Good job. Okay, here we go. Race. Race. Good. Remember that C says S. Here we go. Ace. Pace. Next one, we practice this one. Age. Page. Good job. Now this has the soft G at the beginning. What does soft G sound like? J. Good. So let's say it using the J sound. Here we go. Gem. Gem. It's like another word for a fancy stone, a gem. Now we have the soft C at the beginning. Okay? S. Here we go. Scent. Ooh. Scent. Okay, that sounds a little crazy. I'm going to take away my plural S here and try to just figure out this part. Scent. Scent. Oh, scent. Cents. There you go, cents. This is like the change that we would use. Some cents. I'll give you 14 cents for that Tootsie Roll. Awesome job, boys and girls. Now let's take a look at our sentences at the bottom. Starting with sentence number 1. Will you try to read that on your own a couple of times until I say stop? Starts with Kate. Go ahead and stop. Let's try it together. Here we go. Kate ran that race at a fast pace. That means she went fast. Okay? Now, what are our soft C words in that sentence? Can you find them? Which words there have a C making the S sound? Race is one. What's the other one? There's one more. Pace is one. Very good. All right, let's do sentence number 2, starting with did Dave. Okay, stop. Let's try it together. Did Dave spot that gem on page 1 that costs 10 cents? That one was a little bit tricky. Let's read it one more time to sound super smooth. Did Dave spot that gem on page 1 that costs 10 cents? Good job. All right, quick before we move on to our story of the week, I want to do our I Can Read, our short story here with our sight words for the week. So if I go through my yellow sight words here, I'm going to review before I read this whole story. So we have old, if you can read them with me, go for it. Of, paper, could, be, and horse. Okay, now every time we get to a sight word in the story, I want to see if you can remember to make your voice sound like this. Can you make your voice sound like a squeaky mouse? Can it sound like this? Because every time we read a sight word, you're going to read it like this. Are you ready? We're reading a story about Gabe. Okay, here we go. Gabe saves old stuff. Old is our word. Old stuff. He kept an old pad of paper. Its last page had space for him to trace a face on it. Wow, there's a lot of soft C there. We had space, trace, and face. Gabe asks, could this page be a horse mask? Mom said, get rid of it. So Gabe saves his old stuff. Did you get that, or do you want to try it with me one more time? Okay, let's do it one more time. When you get to a yellow sight word, your voice goes really high like this. Here we go. Gabe saves old stuff. He kept an old pad of paper. Its last page had space for him to trace a face on it. Gabe asks, "Could this page be a horse mask?" Mom said, "Get rid of it." Nice work. Good review of our sight words. Okay, first graders, let's get to the main event now. I'm going to turn one more page, and I see The Farmer in the Hat is my story of the week. The Farmer in the Hat. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of my face here so you can see the whole story while we read. We are on page 52 down here at the bottom, 5-2. And if you see way at the bottom here, we have some characters that they're already telling us before we even start reading. Okay? We have Beth, Dave, Grace, Max, Jake, and Meg. Okay? Now, our genre this week is realistic fiction. That means it has characters that act like real people. Okay? It also means that it's a story that could happen in real life, even though it's made up. So, we're going to read The Farmer in the Hat. We start with Beth. Read quietly with me. Beth got the hat. "I could be the farmer, Old MacDonald, in this play," said Beth. So right away, I think we know what they're up to, what they're doing. "But I am the farmer, Beth," said Dave. "You can be a pig," said Beth. "A pig?" Dave made an odd face. Here's Grace. Read with me about Grace. Grace went up on stage. "Let us make paper masks of faces," she said. "Ducks, hens, a pig, a horse." So what's Grace's idea? She wants to make masks for the characters. Uh-oh. Now look who has the hat. "I have the hat," said Max. "Beth is not the farmer." "I will take that hat, Max," Dave said. "Stop it, Max and Dave," said Grace. "Let us make masks." Grace says, "Stop fooling around. We need to make some masks." Take a look at her script here she has. So it looks like hens are supposed to be Beth and Grace. The pig is Dave, the duck is Max, and the farmer, they don't know. On his page, Max made a duck mask with tape. There it is. Beth made hens. Dave made a pig mask on his page. "That is an odd pig," Grace said. Odd is another word for strange. Ooh, let's see what Jake's making. "It takes ages to make this horse mask, Meg," said Jake. Oh, he's making a horse mask. "I can make this mask fast, Jake," said Meg. Meg made a fat gerbil mask. Ooh, gerbil. Did you hear that soft G at the beginning? Gerbil. A gerbil's kind of like a hamster, but a little bit different. "Place that gerbil in a proper cage," Jake gave a grin. I'm on page 64 now. "Take your places up on stage," said Grace. Grunt! Dave had on his pig mask. Squeak! Said Meg. Quack! Max had on his duck mask. Cluck! Beth had on her hen mask. Look at that cat, said Grace. That is an odd farmer. Do you see the cat? And that is where we find out who is the farmer in the story, right? So, they didn't know who it would be. Look who it ended up being. Do you think they planned that? No way, Jose. Thank you for reading that story with me, though. Will you read this last page with me one more time so we can practice some fluency today? Starts with quack. Ready? Here we go. Quack! Max had on his duck mask. Cluck! Beth had on her hen mask. Look at that cat, said Grace. That is an odd farmer. Nice job. All right. Hopefully you sounded smoother that time than you did the first time we read it. I know I felt more comfortable reading it that time. I hope you liked our story today, and we will be doing more activities with it this week. So keep it tight in your brain. You may head over to Seesaw now to finish your reading activities for the day. Take care.